I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second?
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, all in favor of the motion on the floor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Record of votes and proceedings for Thursday, 23rd November 2023 has been adopted. Announcement by Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I think it is important that I say a word or two about what transpired yesterday, for the reason that it has a tendency to cloud the otherwise decorous proceedings that we had from the start. What we saw in this chamber yesterday should serve as a lesson to all of us. I say this because it vividly demonstrates that democracy is truly a system of governance that is intricate, delicate, and difficult to manage. But we should neither be discouraged nor despair. We have a duty to our nation to make democracy work for us the same way it has worked for many other nations around the world. As I have said, it's a creature that is very difficult to manage, yet it is the most enduring and the most resilient system of governance known to man. Personally speaking, I hold the view very strongly that it can be managed to work for us, for our own nation, too. Difficult as it may be, as long as we set our collective minds to ensure it works. This statement that I have made goes mostly for the new members. For the old members, I dare say, particularly old members who graduated from the fifth part, we've been through worse times, and already I would want to believe from the fifth parliament we've gained enormous experience. Experience that none of us can afford to forget. Nonetheless, I remain confident and resolute that we shall all succeed and our nation shall equally triumph in its practice and manifestation of all aspects of democracy. It is, as I said, a difficult one, but not impossible. No doubt there will be distractions, deviations from time to time. That is in the nature of the beast called democracy. But we cannot afford any other system but the one that is so solemnly and sacredly enshrined in our Constitution of 1991. Multi-party democratic polity. That we worked so hard to adopt in the Constitution of 1991. Until and unless it is changed, it is incumbent on all of us to make sure it works for our nation as it has done for many other nations around. So I say this especially for the new members. Please do not be discouraged or despair. You've chosen the right profession, you've chosen the right place to be. What you saw yesterday is just an aspect of the new experience that you will be going through. And remember, experience is not something you can buy. It's something that you have to acquire yourselves. If any older member sits here and says, I have done this in light of my experience, admire him because he may have gone through it quite a lot. So you are also going through the crucible. And let it not discourage you. It is a task that we must do, and it is a task that we must accomplish with flying colors. With that said, I thank you once again for your endurance, for your patience, and for being as punctual today as we were yesterday, to ensure that we commence our proceedings on time. Frankly, I'm very proud of all of you, and more particularly, the new members in our midst. If you want to add that bit, you may. Well, they look after me well. If I have lived this long, part of my life is attributable to the care and gentleness I have received from my wife. So, let's get on with the day's business.
Bill, the Appropriation Act 2024, second reading. The Minister of Finance, fourth allotted, the debate continues.
Let me share with the House representations that I have received this morning, especially from the leadership of the House. They've informed me that the number of members wishing to take the floor is increasing by the hour, even more so from the new members. And as you are aware, we have only today and Monday to complete this debate. So one option available to all of us is to reduce the speaking time from 10 to 5 minutes. I know those of you who have not spoken will see it as a disadvantage compared to those who've spoken before you, who enjoyed the privilege of 10 minutes. But at the same time, we've got to balance that against the need to accommodate as many of you as possible. I don't want to sound draconian in my decision making here. I want to be able for us to move ahead by consensus. Shall we therefore say 5 minutes is agreeable?
Mr. Speaker, yes sir, you are the head of this particular function.
I said I don't want to sound
yes,
draconian.
so yes, that I'm coming. You know the conclusion of Parliament already before we started the debate, and he allotted time limits to each speaker from the day one. Now coming to this fourth day, moving forward, we want to reduce it to 5 minutes. For me, it will disadvantage some of us who have not taken the floor. So, two things. We either remain the 10 minutes and stick to the 10 minutes. Exactly. Like some people took 10 minutes, you have to speak for 10 minutes, they went on to 18, 14, 15 minutes. So if you can manage that one, I think it will serve us better. Let's stick to the 10 minutes.
Not me.
Yes, sir, it's okay. But let's stick to the 10 minutes.
Let's be practical.
We make sure, please. Leader and officer, we with due respect, I'm up, and I'm giving the floor by the speaker. Allow me to answer. With due respect, sir. Continue. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Speaker, please let's stick to the 10 minutes and make sure 10 minutes exact. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, take it on, please.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I think what my colleague Honorable is failing to understand here is that the decision came about because yesterday we had these differences with among the parliamentarians. We had some people who were on the list that could not speak yesterday, and they were brought forward today. Added to the ones that want to speak today, the number becomes voluminous. So therefore, I think I must agree with you. We must reduce the time to 5 minutes so we can allow those that did not speak yesterday can come in today, added to those that are in today. So that's the difference. So please, Mr. Speaker, I agree with you that we should speak to 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I know this decision is not yours because you said that the leadership on both sides, held the meeting with you. Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that 5 minutes is very small for, a legislator or representative of the people to submit. So what I'm saying is that I appeal that we reduce our disruptions, and stick to the 10 minutes instead of having it at 5. Or, to the worst case, we can have it at 8 minutes. Then that will be fine.
Mr. Speaker, I know even with this, we're still getting more time being bombed, but we want to appeal to colleague members of parliament. The problem we have is, as you see the list I submitted to you, just on this list we have almost 12, and we still have another 10 that is here with me. So, and all of these ones are members of parliament. There are people who are looking forward to them. And the thematic areas of this budget, when you listen to all the speakers before, are just almost the same areas. So we can do a summary of our speech. Better still, we'll ask AYV and SNBC to interview some of the speakers to end their speech. I know my brother is loaded now, and he wants to retire. But we want to appeal that we stick to the 10 minutes and do a summary. Okay, and today is a Friday. Today is Friday, 5 minutes, sorry. Today is Friday. Our brothers also have to go to the mosque. We don't want to have time to spend all the day here on the Friday. We are appealing. It's an appeal. It's an appeal.
Mr. Speaker, I want to refer honorable members to SO5 SO5 the proviso. SO5 Mr. Speaker, every sitting shall, unless Parliament otherwise determines, begin at 10, and unless Parliament has previously adjourned, shall continue until 3 p.m. It provides for me, provided that at 12 noon, Mr. Speaker shall, on Fridays, adjourn Parliament to the next sitting day. So that's what SO52 says. So let us give ourselves 5 minutes to encourage Mrs. Friday and before the pray. Let us encourage ourselves to use time and spend 5 minutes to have more members. But we not be until
I don't want to preempt anything that the leadership may want to do, but I think it lies within our discretion to vary that I know prayer time for us Muslims is what, 2 o'clock?
Now it's 1:30.
1:30. We can push the time to 1 and then adjourn. Do we agree to that? We will take the adjournment at 1. No, it has to be 1. So essentially we've got 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours That's 60, 60, 120, 150 minutes. If you do 150 by 5, what do you get?
30.
30. I have right in front of me a list of 13 and 9, 20. So we should be able to accommodate.
Exactly.
21.
So you
So
can
what
add
I'm
it.
saying
You can add it.
is we've got 2.5 hours, which is 150 minutes, and we can accommodate up to 20. If only people
Stop the interruption.
stick to the time limit that we agree,
And we stop the interruption.
The interruption.
and we stop.
Unnecessary interruption.
Now, this is for the new members. You ought to know this: that on the 5th day, you will hardly ever get a chance to speak, because the leadership speaks to wind up the debate, and sufficient time has to be allotted to the minister to answer to all the concerns, if not all, most of the concerns that you raised in the course of the debate. So that's the way it runs. So your only chance left now is to speak today. That said, let us get on with the business. I will now call on, so we agree on 5 minutes. Good. Clerks at the table, strictly 5 minutes, please. I now give the floor to Honorable Alice Kumabe. To be followed by Honorable Abdul Latif Sise.
Bing, bing, right, bing, bing, bing. The mic is on.
Five minutes, madam, 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the time to debate to this very important document. First of all, I want to thank the Minister and his team for putting this progressive document together. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, if you can agree with me, this government have made tremendous gains towards the construction and completion of bridges and roads. And so, we are looking forward to them to continue as they have started in the first term. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that brings me to chapter 78, Roman figure 7.
Chapter 78.
Paragraph 78, sorry, of Roman figure 7 on page 21. It says, to accelerate the ongoing construction of the Gedema, Matru, Manoa, and Tripoli rural bridges with support from the World Bank. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to inform this House that the bridge construction between Matru and Selehun have started, and this construction is supposed to last for 1 year, 6 months. I hope it will be completed within the stipulated time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that brings me to chapter 126, paragraph 426 of page 33. It reads, with your leave, Mr. Speaker, the African Development Bank, Badia, and the Kuwait Fund will also disburse 137.4 million euros to support the implementation of several road works, including the Tikonko-Petema Matujong Road. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this road is the heartbeat of the people of Bond District, including the President. And I hope this fund will be used judiciously to fix that road. I want to allay the fears of the people who are asking about the road, that road is going to be fixed. Among all other roads, that road is going to be fixed. But Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we equally have other roads in Bond District that are equally important to that road. And these are the road from Japan Junction to Sirarutai to Yabwe. You can all agree with me that Sirarutai have contributed immensely to the bread baskets of this country. But the road is still a death trap. And if you think about Yahweh, where they get fish to supply the whole of the south and the east of this country, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that road is very bad. And very soon, year in, year out, the whole country will soon converge to Bond Island to celebrate Christmas with the President. Some people go there, they are in sympathy with the district because thinking of the economic viability of the district and the road, but some are also very much provocative. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to implore the government of this particular government, the development partners, and the Ministry of Finance to please add this road to their 2025 budget. And with that, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I cannot take my seat if I don't say that this government is doing very well as far as road construction and bridges are concerned. And so, let me take the opportunity to implore all honorable members to please approve it. Thank you very much.
And I'll give the floor to the Honorable Latif Sise.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Abdul Latif Sise from Butloko Central, Butloko District, and from the Northwest region. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank you very much for being here for me to present my own part of the debate. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, when you look at the theme of the budget, I will say it is very deceptive. Why I'm saying that? Because how can you say you are trying to see how best you are going to protect the poor and vulnerable, and you are pushing for 5% restoration in taxes, you are pushing for 10% on iron rods, you are pushing for 5% on the gas? Is that how you want to protect your poor and struggling population? Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I know why the government is struggling to have the necessary revenue to run the country. Because they are only focusing on receiving taxes. I want to prefer here to this house that we can diversify our economy. And when we diversify our economy, that will generate more revenue for government to be able to spend. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in the area of agriculture, agriculture is very, very important, we all know. And I want us not to only focus on rice cultivation, but we should also be thinking about other areas of agriculture. We have what we call, the livestock aspect. We have the area of marine. We have, the area of crops, and all of those other areas. Let's focus on those things. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you that gari is more expensive now than rice. And gari is supposed to be, the substitute to rice. And us imposing 5% on rice, definitely, right now we are buying a bag of rice, 800,000 plus. So it means, when the 5% is in place, definitely we'll be buying a bag of rice 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, and that is going to be a burden to our people. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as I said, we have to diversify our economy. Tourism is also a way for us to be able to generate revenue. But Mr. Speaker, we have very good sites compared to the Gambia. When you go to the Gambia, you see, you don't see those kind of beautiful places that we have here in Israel. But we are not spending enough money to ensure that we develop those sites so we can attract tourists. The Gambia is making millions of dollars yearly from tourism. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, also the entertainment industry in Sierra Leone, it seems as if we don't care about entertainment. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, entertainment is one sector that is booming the Nigerian economy currently. I will tell you, they projected that by 2025, they are going to receive over $4.8 billion from entertainment industry. And because of that, I think it is high time that as a government, we start thinking about our entertainment industry. When you talk about entertainment industry, it's not just about music. We have the community sector. We have the area that has to do with local music. We have the other area that has to do with producers. We have other areas that object our local traditions. We focus on those areas. We can generate revenue from the entertainment industry. But here in Sierra Leone, as soon as you are involved in entertainment, they say, oh, he's not serious. No, Nigeria is projecting $4.8 billion for that money to come in by 2025. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, one area that government can also generate revenue is that we focus on state-owned enterprises. Our state-owned enterprises are in bad shape, Mr. Speaker, and I will justify that. Sierra Leone is dead and killed by power poison. Mr. Speaker, NIC is struggling to survive. Mr. Speaker, Santos is dead and killed by herself. Mr. Speaker, you talk about Sierra Leone Airport Authority, it's also dead, killed by herself. Mr. Speaker, already remember, Kumabali is struggling to survive. Mr. Speaker, already remember, by force is a working cop. Mr. Speaker, already remember, talk of Sierra Leone lottery, Mr. Speaker, is also dead and buried. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about EXA, of course, is now running out of oxygen. Mr. Speaker, already remember, when you talk about Sierra Leone Housing Corporation, it's dead and buried. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about the Sierra Leone National Shipping Agency, Mr. Speaker, it is also struggling to survive. What about Sierra Leone Produce and Marketing Board? Mr. Speaker, I will tell you, it's dead. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about SMBC, Sierra Leone Broadcasting Service, I will tell you, it's also running out of oxygen. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let us know that this is our country, Sierra Leone. Honorable members, a few months ago, we are chasing our people to vote for us to come here and represent them. So, because of that, let us ensure that we do justice let us not allow the 5%, 10%, 5% to pass through this house. If we do, we have to go back to our people after 5 years. Let us ensure we do justice. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much, and I also just want to tell Madam Minister, please ensure we with that, because I will be visiting Mr. Speaker, and I don't want Mr. Speaker to see me that dirty. No, please ensure that you fix the role of Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
Followed by the Honorable Sheridan Kamara.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, now we have 5 minutes, so no time to waste. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I just want to join my brother, Honorable Fofana of Kono yesterday, when he reminded everybody in this world that continuity is good. But the reason why our economy is struggling today is because in 2018, when the Bill government took administration in this country, he inherited a dilapidated economy, a bad economy, an economy that has gone down the drain. Mr. Speaker, in 2006, the World Bank approved $300 billion in debt relief program. And by then, yes, $1 billion for the world in debt relief program. And that was when his ex-elect President Kaba was in power. In 2007, Mr. Speaker, the highly impoverished countries had an initiative in collaboration with moderate companies that struck and canceled debt. Mr. Speaker, Sierra Leone benefited immensely from that. In 2007, in the administration of the then President Koroma, Sierra Leone debt was cancelled up to 2.7 trillion euros. Mr. Speaker, by the time His Excellency Koroma left power, our debt ceiling has raised up to 16 trillion, Mr. Speaker. That is what debt of today. That is why you see we have an economy that we are struggling with. Mr. Speaker, the economy of our country is not as good as we expect. We all understand, we agree. We talk about inflation, we agree. But in as much as we agree with that, Mr. Speaker, we want the people of this country to know that His Excellency the President, General Smadabio, is making strides, positive strides. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, during the presidency of Ernest Koroma, we have donor partners. They contributed the highest donor so far in the history of this country in 2014 at the tune of $912 million. And 2015, the donor disbursement to this country was 1.1 billion under the Somalia government. Mr. Speaker, let me refer you to page 12, paragraph 46, Roman 2. With effect from January 2014, the BS Bank of Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the relevant The regulatory agency will enforce requirements to certificate of minimum of 30% of export value into the banking system by exporters. Let me also take you to bullet 5. The government will require all disbursements for donor fund projects to be channeled through the Bank of Sierra Leone. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let's take that into consideration. The donor disbursement we get into this country, the millions of dollars donors gave us in this country, if those money are channeled through our central bank, and that money be converted to our local currency before it goes to the beneficiaries, Mr. Speaker, our foreign currency reserve will not be where we are today. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the mismanagement and the tight fiscal space that we inherited has brought us to this difficult situation we are in today. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in 2017, because of bad mismanagement, because of bloated infrastructural budget by the government, Mr. Speaker, the extended credit facility was suspended in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, to prove that His Excellency President Julius Maada his administration is an administration that adheres to procedures. Barely 7 months of his administration, Mr. Speaker, IMF restored the extended credit facility of the in this country. Because the international community, evidenced by the MCC scorecard, knows that His Excellency is a man that respects the rule of law. The recent scorecard, Mr. Speaker, of the MCC that granted His Excellency the President seat at the United Nations next to the United Nations Secretary General because of the successes he made in improving the government of this country, Mr. Speaker. President Leone is the only president in the world that the United Nations Secretary General invited to take a share seat with him to chair the education project because of the gains he made in equality education. We want to thank him for that. On that note, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I also want to encourage my colleagues that in as much as we all agree that the economy is soft, yes, it's soft. Is everything good? No, everything is not good. But however, we should be looking things from the natural point of view. What are the reforms that we want to do? The tax sector needs reforms. We need compliance reform. We need tax reform. So let's come together. You're talking about the 5% on rice. We have tax. We have domestic revenue mobilization strategies. That is why this government, as a responsible government, Mr. Speaker, they formulated what they call the medium-term revenue strategy. That will help us to stabilize our domestic revenue strategy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance just last year gave 5,000 electronic cash register to NRA so that they enable the NRA to make sure that they collect revenue in this country that reflects their portal system. Mr. That's how a responsible government does, Mr. Speaker. As I round up, Mr. Speaker, I also want to remind my colleagues that some of these taxes imposed in some of these, like the sugar content, products, energy drinks, soft drink, is not only for monetary values, but for health reasons. It's for the welfare of this country, Mr. Speaker. Imagine somebody consuming 10 to 25 grams of sugar per liter. If you need 10, 5 liters or 20 liters per month or per year, Mr. Speaker, diabetes is around the corner, Mr. Speaker. That is why you see they keep amputating our brothers because they have disease conditions that will not heal, Mr. Speaker. So for health reasons, that is what a responsible government do. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I also want to say thanks to this administration for the workforce. Mr. Speaker, we are having 5,500 plus jobs that is going to produce in the next year, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say thank you. I want to give others opportunity to talk. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my sister, Mrs. Jennifer Bangura from North America, for all what you've done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I've heard members saying Cambia versus Cambia. And I want to say thanks to the Speaker for giving me this opportunity, more so when I'm speaking immediately after my brother from Cambia. I consider this opportunity as
the President Speaker will be followed by Honorable Understanding.
Thank you. I consider this opportunity to be a hippopotamus opportunity, Mr. Speaker, because I now have the opportunity to actually look at what he has said insofar as the development of this country is concerned. Mr. Speaker, let me briefly hand on the speech of the Speaker, the statement that he delivered in this Hall of Parliament on the 22nd day of November 2023 at around 10:13 a.m. Mr. Speaker, you made it very clear on that fateful day that the primary responsibility for the development of this country is in the hands of this Hall of Parliament. And that notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, I also want to draw the attention of this House to the very important statement that you deliver on the day you welcome us to this Hall of Parliament. In that statement, Mr. Speaker, you asked the question, where did we go wrong? And if we are to answer that question, the answer will be in your hands because of your generation. But to modify that question further, to modify, Mr. Speaker, if we say we answer that question, the answer will be in your hands because of your generation. Where did we go wrong? But to modify that question, to do justice to that question, I would like to modify it by saying, where are we going wrong? So that we also hold this parliament responsible when we do things that are not in favor of the people of this country. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I will now ask the question, where are we going wrong, Mr. Speaker? And the answer is in the hands of members of parliament in this 6th parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the Constitution of Sierra Leone, when you look at the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, if you look at section 105 of this Constitution, it says Parliament is the supreme legislative body in this country. That notwithstanding, if you look at section 101 of this Constitution, it says Parliament, it is only Parliament that has the power to authorize taxation in this country. If you also look at section 112 of this Constitution, it also says it is only Parliament that has the powers to authorize expenditure. That is to say, we are close to time. You can interrupt me. Section 101 of the Constitution. Section 101 is clear. And it's telling us the manifestation. 101 doesn't say that. You want to read 101?
No, you read it. Let me down. You got time for it. Why?
Mr. Speaker, it's 110. 110, Mr. Speaker. Says it is only Parliament that has the power to authorize the imposition of taxes in this country. That notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, that is to tell you, to tell this House and to tell this country that we have the powers. We have enormous powers to supervise, to regulate, and to see that we hold the government accountable for their actions. Already, Mr. Speaker, this Constitution has given enormous power to the executive arm of government, and therefore the people of this country rely on members of parliament to hold the government accountable for their excesses. It's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, I must say clearly that throughout the days I have taken this parliament as a young man in this parliament, what I have seen from the other side is basically to proceed to support the government in all what they are doing. And I know for sure, Mr. Speaker, that we are here as members of Parliament, not only to critique the government, but to criticize the government constructively and to ensure that we hold them accountable for their excesses. That is why we are here as members of Parliament. But what we've seen for the past weeks is different completely when it comes to the other side of this house. It's very clear, Mr. Speaker. It is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that my brother from Gambia, even when we know that the road leading to Bolo, his own village, and the village of the former president, Jack Kabak, is in a very deplorable state. This is nothing wrong with that, absolutely. As far as he's concerned, he wants to be in the good books of his political party. That is what Mr. Speaker. One of the problems that we have in this country, one of the problems, Mr. Speaker, that we have in this country is Section 77K in this constitution.
On that note,
Mr. Speaker, I will now take you to the aspect of agriculture. Mr. Speaker, if you look at agriculture, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the aspect of agriculture, it is very clear that the government is promoting and reprobating, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the aspect of agriculture, the government is promoting and reprobating. In this document, Mr. Speaker, the government is saying they want to free people of Sierra Leone. But if you impose taxes to the last level of imposing taxes on the domestic farmlands of the people of this country, then they are promoting and reprobating, Mr. Speaker. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to say plenty thanks to the government of Sierra Leone. On that note, Mr. Speaker, when I look at this document, it is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that the government is proposing to take care of the road leading to Tokyo River. The government is proposing also to take care of the Free-Salo project, and they've included Mambolo and Kicho. Mr. Speaker, I'm recommending, Mr. Speaker. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to say thanks to the House, and I want to say thanks to the
honorable members, please grab your attention. Order. I want to draw the attention of the House to the fact that after consultations with the leadership, we agreed on 5 minutes. Yes. But very, very clear to me now that members are not sticking to the 5 minutes injunction. It's very clear. Not quite. No, I'm timing everybody. But I'm really turning over in my mind what else can be done. So I want to invite the two leaders again. May I have their attention for a moment? May I have the attention of the leadership, two leaders? In the same way you advised on the timing, please reflect that it's proving very difficult to maintain. I give the floor now to Honorable Alisandi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to participate in this all-important debate. I would like to thank the Ministry of Finance for giving us a comprehensive and detailed budget. I'm sure the previous debaters before me
has debated extensively on other areas. But before I want to come to my debate, there are certain clarifications I would like to bring out to this honorable house. The honorable member from Bombali, I want to thank you for being so passionate about sports. However, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, what the honorable member was not practical about was that it is under this present dispensation that the Premier League was restored. It is under this same dispensation that today the renovations of the National Stadium is ongoing. This same stadium, which the CAF raised so many concerns over the years, is now ongoing. It is also under this same dispensation, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that Sierra Leone can now boast of the first ever female league in Sierra Leone. It is also under this same dispensation, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we can now boast of a female sports minister. I also want to commend the honorable member from Western area, my learned colleague and senior. He was sincere in his debate he was being nationalistic in his approach. The honorable member was sincere to mention that as a country, we import almost everything, including the plantain chips. But Mr. Speaker, that is even better because it is food. But it was here in Sierra Leone in 2016 when the whole cabinet sat to approve the importation of trash in this country. And so, Mr. Speaker, intervention of Sierra Leoneans in this country, only God knows what would have happened to us, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, now coming to road safety. Mr. Speaker, by your age, I presume you may likely be the only person in this house who may have driven a vehicle before street lights in Freetown. The previous administration fooled this country by installing street lights that were mere toys. But if you walk through the streets of Freetown today, if you drive through the streets of Freetown, you will see the installation of free and traffic lights that is going to last for time. Also coming to the overhead bridges, you can see in areas like Lonely, the Ferry Junction in Wilberforce, there are overhead bridges made to protect pedestrians while walking along the streets of Freetown. There is also the ultra-modern Lonely marketplace that is also ongoing. Mr. Speaker, not to talk of the car park that is also ongoing to help under the Urban Resilience Project. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, now let me come to my main area, which is found on paragraph 90 of page 25. With your leave, Mr. Speaker, may I read? In addition to enhance 91, paragraph 91. In addition to enhancing transparency in public procurement, the NPPA will provide training and support to local businesses to enhance their capacity in government tenders. In this regard, the NPPA will create an inclusive environment for SMEs, especially women-owned, in public procurement by introducing set-asides, margin of preference, or quotas, simplifying the bid process, to develop capacity programs to help SMEs compete effectively for government contracts. The NPPA will also review the threshold for non-competitive bidding to avoid contract splitting and allow SMEs to participate effectively in the supply of goods and services to the government and private sector. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, honorable member, this is a testament to all what this government has done for the women of this country. The government has not only passed the Giwi Act, which has today saw the increase in the number of women leaders we have today in this house. We now have 42 women representing the women of Sierra Leone. Today, in this house also, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Sierra Leone has moved from 155 position of the IPU global ranking of female representation in parliament to 177th position. A testament of all what this government has done, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. The government has now moved to a male-dominated business community. The government is trying to help women in the business community by setting margin of preference to help encourage these women to thrive in the business community. It is true that we give honor to whom honor deserves. Let us at least be sincere to ourselves to say that the government of Sierra Leone, this SLPP government, has tried for the women of this country. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I now urge members on the other side to help us support this government to succeed, because when we succeed as a government, your position as an opposition in this country will be guaranteed. Thank you.
I now give the floor to the Honorable Ben Alpha Malik. He will be followed by the Honorable Ibrahim.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Honorable Alpha Ben Mansari, Member District, specifically from Ribi and Bumpe Chiefdom. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to assure this House and members from the other side that this Parliament, this opposition, APC, is ready to support the nation's development, provided if we are changing to our conscience. We can tax the poor year in, year out, but the challenge is if we fail to deliver, then we have done injustice to this nation. Mr. Speaker, this budget is just a mere projection. Year in, year out, we project figures, but we cannot continue to project figures whilst we don't even consider the implementation of these figures. And not only the implementation, also the evaluation of these figures. And not only the evaluation, and also the modification of the feedback you get from the field. Budget is just a customized something that requires, Mr. Speaker, and we need to change the trajectory. Mr. Speaker, let me take you to hell. Mr. Speaker, this nation is challenged with hand. We are all aware that all over the nation, from all members of parliament, various chiefdoms, we are challenged with structures that has to do with peripheral health units. We have CHPs, we have MCHPs, we have community health centers. Most of them are, most of these CHPs are being provided by communities. Communities offer dwelling houses, and you cannot even find a couch in most of these community health centers. Mr. Speakers, you can say 11 years, but when the APC, when President Kumar launched the free health care, the Health for All Coalition, which was a supervisory body, can attest to the fact that, yes, the free health care was helping. As I speak, Mr. Speaker, my district, from January to date, recorded 17 maternal deaths. And these are just recorded ones. Let us don't joke with this. Take this message. You as MPs go to your various chiefdoms and assess these health facilities so that we can help the government to support the air. But when we are not journeying to ourselves, we don't support the budget without looking at the services our people supposed to receive. Then we are deceiving even the president. We are deceiving even the Minister of Finance, who approved this budget, who remit funds to ensure the health sector is being funded. Mr. Speaker, let me come to the ambulance services. You can agree with me that we had so many ambulances, but most of them are parked today. My district suffered this issue of maternal death because of lack of ambulance services. I want to appeal to the Minister of Finance to collaborate with line ministries to ensure these ambulances are restored and are serving the people. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I also want to recommend to this House that the ambulance, the transportation sector,
let me clarify this for once.
Mr. Speaker, honorable Samuel is from Amadi Street. He is from Amadi Street. He knows that even Bagua Chiefdom is facing challenge with ambulance services. He knows that all the chiefdoms in Amadi Street are facing with ambulance services. So seeing him want to object what I'm saying is doing injustice to the people of Amadi Street. Mr. Speaker, we need to add dignity to the health workers of this nation. I can see from Waterloo to Connaught to Cottage to Kiama Road Hospital, health workers are struggling to have a transportation to come to work.
Wow.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the Minister of Finance. I heard of buses. Please, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let the Ministry of Transport and Aviation, or if that's the way it is called now, to provide the bus services for health workers. On that note, Mr. Speaker, let me take you to the roads. 319 billion was allocated for 40 roads in this nation. 2021, they supervised those roads, the gravelly roads, but yet they didn't succeed to ensure those roads are completed. The road leading from Wamba going through to Sebel, the hometown of Honorable Selim to Shenge. The road from Maban to Rotifu. The road from Mr. Speaker.
My name is mentioned repeatedly.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I'm wrong. Mr. Speaker, on that note, Mr. Speaker, the youth sector, the youth fund was launched 3 years ago.
No, you cannot start something.
How many youths were employed, Mr. Speaker? I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Once again, let us support this nation. Let us support the government of CIU. For this house will be genuine to the people of this country.
Mr. Speaker.
For the new MP, let's go 3260, Speaker. I noticed the member of parliament from Moyamba that have just spoken. I've been naming Honorable Mustafa.
No, you never call again. Only one.
Other members that will be speaking.
No, because you know they talk when people are made the call. They haven't written I wrote.
My name was mentioned persistently, like the leader said. I want to make clarification. I am talking to Mr. Speaker and he has to take decision on that.
No, you have to try to do that.
Mr. Speaker, do I have the floor, sir?
No.
All right, thank you. God bless you, Mr. Speaker. For ambulance services in the district, Mr. Speaker, I want to make it very clear. Under the government of they've constructed a health center with a new brand ambulance located in Bakura Chiefdom. Secondly, there is operational ambulances across the district. Mr. Speaker, let me get very clear. My brother was here with my thank you, Mr. Speaker.
One of the ground rules we agreed was that we should not interrupt the debate.
Why we not permit to stand in orders by calling people repeatedly?
But that's what we have upon. That's what we have upon. What is that?
My mic is not going on.
You know, I have already crowned you. I've already crowned you.
I will not disappoint you, Mr.
Do you want to abdicate the position or you want to be
No, it's still not to maintain the new. No, I will not disappoint you. I will not disappoint you.
And I'll give the floor to the Honorable Ibrahim Kaba.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am Honorable Ibrahim Kaba from the Western area. The presidential speech is like the budget speech. It is very important in giving credence to it. We have to look at the interests of our people. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let us go to the budget straight. Page 30, paragraph 109. Page 30, paragraph 109. I am coming from the Western Rural, and I believe we have 641 fish landing sites all over this country. From Kiragba, that is the Guinea border, to Solima, the Liberia border. After looking at this budget, I noticed that this budget made a lot of provisions for that ministry and the people that are surviving from the fisheries sector. I made another research I compared it to the other budgets being tabled in this house years back. I looked at the 2016 budget that was tabled here by the then Minister of Finance, Dr. Kelfala Mara.
Which page number? Which page, sir?
And I looked at the one in 2017 that was tabled here again by Mamadou El Kagbo. When you put those two budgets, their interest was so minimal in that particular sector. But this budget speaks volume for itself in the area of fisheries. And we have over 1 million people that are dealing with fish and its management in this country. Therefore, this particular budget is a tough budget. And if I have to go further, I will call this budget the fisherman's friend. Let me go to my honorable member from Bombali. He was opposing the Bio government since inception from 2018 to date. But let me tell you something. I want to make a little bit of clarification here. My brother, Honorable Charles John, comes from Bombali district. In his own constituency, before President Madabio came to power, there were children taking the external exams to Kamalo and Kamakwe, which is 9 miles, 17 miles from Kamaraka. But when Madabio took over, to date, they are taking all external exams in Kamaraka town. Then, before Madabio took over, before President Madabio took over, let me make it very clear, that particular area is now benefiting from the really great electrical power. Kamaraka Chiefdom has electricity for now. It was not there before. So when we come here, we have to say the right things. Yes, Honorable Charles. Members, let me come again to Honorable Charles. Yeah, no, that's